Welcome back and thanks for stopping by for what is my New Year's Day special, 1st of January 2025. We've a very interesting year coming up in terms of music releases and I'm going to run through those in just a moment. But before we get into that, if you're new to my channel and you haven't already subscribed, please hit the button now. If you could also like, share, leave a comment and hit the notification bell, helps out my channel and I'd greatly appreciate it. Before we dive into new releases, I just want to run through some albums that are actually turning 30 this year, so released in 1995. So some in my own collection, there's Radiohead The Bends, an absolute classic from Radiohead, one of their best guitar heavy album, layered, well produced, and I've got some interesting stuff coming up on Radiohead in January, so stay tuned for that. Foo Fighters debut album, basically Dave Grohl playing most of the instruments on this one, apart from I believe some guitar by Greg Dulli from the Afghan Wigs. But yeah, an absolute classic from Foo Fighters. We have One Hot Minute from Red Hot Chili Peppers, the only album to feature Dave Navarro on guitar. This was released in 1995 as well, following Blood Sugar Sex Magik and before Californication when John Frusciante returned. One of my favourites, the Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. This turns 30 this year also. Double album by Smashing Pumpkins. Alternative rock legends, and this is a great album in my opinion. And then Alanis Morissette, her album Jagged Little Pill, another classic from 1995. So yeah, these albums, it's hard to believe these albums are all turning 30 this year. Okay, I'm just going to run through now some other albums that I don't have in my collection that are actually turning 30 this year. So we have What's the Story, Morning Glory by Oasis, of course. I actually owned this on cassette back in the day and can't find it anywhere for the life of me. Checked my own attic, my parents' attic, my old room at home, checked my house top to bottom, can't find it anywhere. I was going to buy it on CD a few years ago and then I decided not to. I'm going to wait until next year, sorry, this year should I say. I'm going to wait until the remastered version comes out, because they remastered definitely maybe last year for the 30-year anniversary, and it was a great box set which I bought. I want to wait to see if What's the Story, Morning Glory is going to be released as a box set, and I'll buy it then, because I think it's going to be more worthwhile. And also the remastered version might be better, a better master in terms of compression and dynamic range. The original version of What's the Story, Morning Glory, even Noel Gallagher says, very compressed and doesn't sound as good as it could be. Some other albums that turn 30 this year of note, Alice in Chains, their self-titled album Alice in Chains was released in 1995. And speaking of Alice in Chains, Layne Staley released an album with Mike McCready from Pearl Jam, and Barrett Martin on drums from the Screaming Trees. He joined Mike McCready and Layne Staley on this album Above, and the band name was Mad Season. So that was released in 1995. I Should Coco by Supergrass, Northern Soul by The Verve, Outside by David Bowie, Made in Heaven by Queen, Pulse by Pink Floyd, Soup by Blind Melon. What else have we got? Garbage, self-titled, The Great Escape by Blur, another album that I actually had on cassette and then can't find it. So I'm going to hold out and get the CD this year and see what comes with it. Insomniac by Green Day, Ball Breaker by AC/DC, and A Change of Seasons by Dream Theater. So plenty of stuff turning 30 this year. But what's actually coming up to be released this year? We'll just run through the list now that I have, the latest one. So coming up on January 10th, we have Ringo Starr. His album Look Up is due to be released on January 10th. Tremonti, The End Will Show Us How. That's also coming out on the 10th of January. On the 17th of January, we have Fleetwood Mac, a reissue of Tango in the Night. The Who, Who's Next, and Steve Hackett, Live Magic at Trading Boundaries. On January 24th, then we have Blink-182, One More Time Part 2. Eric Clapton's Meanwhile gets a physical media release on CD and vinyl. Hootie and the Blowfish, The Atlantic Years from 1994 to 2003, a 5 CD box set or 6 LP set. We have Thin Lizzy, The Acoustic Sessions, really looking forward to that one. They've basically taken Phil Lynot's vocals, Phil Lynot's bass lines, Brian Downey's drums, and they've brought Eric Bell into the studio, and they've re-recorded all the guitar parts with an acoustic guitar, and some of the tracks sound pretty cool from what I've heard on Spotify, but this is going to be a very interesting release when it does come out, so stay tuned for that one. What have we got now on in January 31st? We have Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman and Howe, an evening of Yes Music Plus. Brian Ferry, a retrospective. Dio, the very best of Dio. We've got Hawkwind live at the Royal Albert Hall. Joe Satriani, Eric Johnson and Steve Vai, the 3G reunion. Steely Dan, Katie Lloyd. On February 7th, we have Andy Figueroa Low with the Invincible Bluesmen. The Dave Matthews Band, Where Are You Going? The singles, that's a 2LP release. Dream Theater have an album called Parasomnia. We also have Wilco with an album called A Ghost Is Born. So that's just some of the highlights on that particular date, February the 7th. On February the 14th, we have Ian Gillan from Deep Purple. He's releasing an album called Gillan, 1978 to 1982. That should be good. It's a 7 CD box set. We also have on February 28th, Steve Hackett with D. Jabe, Freya Arctic Jam. We have Humble Pie, Hallelujah. Camel, Moon, Madness, Mirage is also coming out as a remastered 2 CD box set. Adrian Smith and Richie Codson also releasing Black Light on March 7th. On March 14th, Ozzy Osbourne has an 18 LP box set called See You on the Other Side, due out. On March 28th, The Darkness have their new album Dreams on Toast, which is due out on that particular date. Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, 50th Anniversary Super Deluxe Edition, 4 CD Atmos mix, Blu-ray and 5 LP Dolby Atmos mix and Blu-ray. Also coming up this year, these are rumoured or to be announced, but we're looking for new music from Ace Frehley of Kiss, Anthrax, Bad Company, Black Label Society, Blondie, Brian Wilson, Bruce Springsteen, Chris Robinson of the Black Crowes, Corrosion of Conformity, David Crosby, Def Leppard, Don Airey of Deep Purple, George Clinton, Glenn Hughes of Deep Purple, Guns N' Roses. Interested to see if they have anything coming out in the new year. Jerry Lee Lewis, Joel Lynn Turner, Joe Walsh, The Kinks, Crocus, LA Guns, Lemmy Kilmister's solo album. Interested to see what that's going to be. Living Colour, Mammoth Wolfgang Van Halen with their 3rd album. Megadeth, Mick Mars with John Corabi, Motley Crue, Morrissey, Neil Young, Oasis. Be interested to see if that album surfaces this year. I thought it was going to come out last year, 2024, but they're saying 2025. Robert Plant, Roger Waters, Steve Perry, Styx, Tony Iommi solo album. U2, Songs of Ascent is the name of that one. So be interested to see what that one's like. And then Wasp and ZZ Top. So that is all the albums released in or due for release in 2025. So I'll be doing a review of some of these albums as and when they come out. So stay tuned for that. And I hope you enjoyed the content so far in 2024. Keep looking out in 2025. Plenty of interesting stuff coming down the pipeline. So stay tuned and I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye for now.